Hi there, you're back. Good. I've got another reader question for you. This one's a great one. I have to say, it's really, really, really good. You ready? All right, reader of my column writes in, I had some questions after reading your recent columns on annuities. Maybe your readers also are wondering. Number one, well, it's a multi-part question here, so hold on. If a financial product can only offer a maximum of 2 to 3% of a guaranteed return, wouldn't it be easier to get a long-term CD at the bank? And then part two, what happens if the fees are more than the interest earned? Is this possible? That's from Mom. Mom's keeping track of my columns and keeping me straight. So thank you, Mom, for that. So let me answer Mom's question. The first part is, wouldn't it be easier to get a long-term CD? Well, there's two parts to that question. And of course, you know what I'm probably going to say. There's a yes and a no. So the yes part is, yes, of course, Mom. It would be much easier just to pick up a guaranteed 3% on something safe and be done. No need to explore financial products. No need to be bothered with financial advisors. No need to spend the time, go down to the bank, pick up the 3% or more CD and be finished. At the time we're doing this program in 2015, such is not the case, not available. So because of that, we have to work a little harder and look at other alternatives. You know, once upon a time, back in the 80s, and many of my clients and prospective clients I meet with remember those interest rates. Yep, they were available, not today. So we have to work a little harder. Part two is, no, it's not quite that easy as it relates to getting a guaranteed return on the financial product. So let me explain. There are products that will offer a guaranteed return. They could be, again, at the time of this program, they can be in that 2 to 3% range. Not many of them around. The choices are pretty limited. And most of the time, we have to look for products that will give you a higher potential, but the rate is not guaranteed. So if you're looking for a true guaranteed rate of return, where the principal, and to make that guaranteed rate of return a real guaranteed rate of return means you're going to have to get your money back. So it can't be that you buy something where, oh, well, the return is 7% a year, and that's assured. You're going to get that, but you might not get your principal back. You're not really getting a 7% return on your money unless you know you're going to get your money back, and you can't know that until you get your money back. So it's not really fair to call that a 7% guaranteed return. So when we talk about getting a 3% guaranteed return, you have to start with the principal being guaranteed. So there's not much of that available. Certainly not beyond 3 that I have found. If you know of one, tell me about it, okay? But in today's world, you can get principal guarantees, but when you start trying to get more than those modest 2 to 3% returns, you have to give up the predictability. You have to give up the guarantee of that return. I'm not saying you have to give up a guarantee of principal. You have to give up a guarantee of getting a guarantee of return. So for example, since Mom was asking about the annuities in particular, there are annuities that will give you a protection of your principal. Okay, check, got that. But number two, to get the higher return, it's going to vary. It might be and it's usually tied to some sort of stock market index, or it could be a bond index or something else. But it's usually tied to some sort of indicator of overall market activity or economic activity. So in order to get those higher returns, it's going to vary because those market indicators, the index or whatever it may be, they're going to vary. So what that means when all is said and done is it means that you might have a year where you make 5%, you might make 8%, you might make 2%, you might make as high as 10, but there's going to be also years where you're going to make a 0, where you made nothing. Again, your principal's secure, and any earnings you have along the way each year get locked in. But if you have a bad year, There's going to be nothing to add. So that's the trade-off. That's the bird in hand for two in the bush. And I'm talking about apples to apples. Yes, if you can pick up a 2 or 3% fixed guaranteed return for a specific number of years, fine. But right now, that's not available from the bank. You have to look at some of the other financial products, and that's primarily offered by insurance companies in the form of annuities. If you want higher than that, then you have to give up the predictability of the returns. It's going to vary. Now, if you want higher returns and you don't want to use an annuity-based program, now we're talking about something very different. We're talking about bonds, fixed income securities. We're talking about things that can give you a higher return, but, and it's a big but your principal is at risk. And we'll be talking more about this on other programs, but the point is you can't have it all. You have to pick which of those are important. Now, it's easy with some of these products to get confused. That's why I'm glad Mom asked the question. It's easy to get confused about them because there is a lot of complexity. Some of these financial products can be complicated, and I'll be very candid with you. I have been disappointed with the financial industry in how poorly it is communicated. Some of these products are communicated to the consumer. It creates a lot of unnecessary confusion. Part of that is because some insurance agents who are the ones that offer annuities, you have to be a licensed annuity agent. You may be independent or they may work for a particular company, but they have to be licensed to offer these products. And there are a lot of them that don't understand these products themselves, or they have been poorly trained. So I saw, for example, a prospective client came in to meet with me the other day, asked for a second opinion on their finances. They have an annuity that they were told, they heard loud and clear. They even showed me some of the paperwork that the agent had shared with them that made it look like they were earning a guaranteed 7% return each year with protection of their principal. Can my eyebrows go any higher? No, not available in the marketplace. Not true. Not true, not true, not true. The annuity has a rate of return that varies. This 7% that they thought they were getting, it's really just part of a complicated formula for figuring out how much income they can have in the future. It's basically an increasing value that's used to calculate what they can draw as income. It's a phantom. It's not real income. It's not real return. It's not interest as you and I think about it. It's really part of a formula to calculate future return. Their real returns that they were earning, a couple of percent. Okay, here we are again, couple of percent. And they were paying fees, were not told about the fees, did not know about the fees, and guess what? The fees had eaten up most of the interest that they had actually earned. So welcome to my world. This is some of my frustrations sometimes that you're going to hear about, that the financial industry as a whole doesn't always do the best job explaining the product or even equipping the people that are supposed to explain it and know it well to the consumer. So understand that there is no free lunch. There's always something that you have to give up to get what you're looking for, or it might require multiple products. But doing that, putting the products together, using them in combination, that will help you plan stronger.